Hey lovely people, it's Emma Brooke and thank you for watching. I am doing a bit of a different slant on today. I'm going to put my other earphone in as well. Normally I either do a meditation or I talk about something that is really dear to my soul, and today it is really dear to my soul, but it's a different topic because I wanted to talk through how do I know if I need a coach, because this is a question that I get asked a lot. How do I know if I need a coach? Or I see it a lot in a lot of the Facebook groups, not my own fortunately, but a lot of the Facebook groups that I'm members of. How do I know if I need a coach? What are the signs, or what can I get out of coaching? How will I know that I need it? And I wanted to talk about that because I don't know, not many people seem to. Lots of coaches offer the benefits of coaching and they say what you can get, but they still leave people asking the question, do I really need that? And I know because I have been left asking the same questions. Fortunately, I have a wonderful coach and counsellor who really inspires me and challenges me and helps me grow every week. So I know I've been through that process, and I've had a number of personal coaches and counsellors that I've developed relationships with, and some have worked and served me and some haven't. So I wanted to share a little bit of wisdom around coaching and how you know if you need a coach or not. And the first thing is that nobody needs a coach, okay? And as a coach, maybe I shouldn't be saying that, but actually nobody needs a coach. You will get through your life and you will reach the end of your life, and you will have had a good life or a bad life, and you might have had a fantastic life and never used a coach at all. So nobody needs a coach. So take that out of the equation straight away. It's, do you want a coach? And that question can be answered in a number of ways, but what I would say to you, if you're deliberating, or maybe you don't even really know what coaching is, and you kind of think, oh, maybe it would be cool, but I don't know, like what would I ask, or what would I be coached on, is if you wake up in the morning right now and you are filled with joy and happiness and fulfillment, and you can't wait to get out of bed and start your day, and everything in your life is exactly the way you want it to be, and it is moving forward as quickly as you would like it to, or as slowly as you would like it to, then I would say you probably don't have a desire to have a coach right now. In fact, you're probably not even watching this, I would imagine. So I'm going to speak to everybody else. Everybody who wakes up in the morning, who maybe is happy with some aspects of their life but not others, maybe feels that their life is not moving towards their goals at the right speed, or they don't really know what their goals are, or they feel a little bit lost, or they just feel like they haven't quite reached their full potential yet. And if you feel like you're not quite reaching your full potential, that's where coaching comes in. Because what coaching does is it calls you out on your shit. Okay, it says you get a good coach, and I've had coaches that don't do this, and it did nothing to serve me apart from teach me how not to coach, which was a good lesson in itself. But coaches have to call you out on shit. You know, they're not going to be sympathetic. They're always going to believe in you, and they're always going to believe in your brilliance and your ability to achieve, but they will not sympathize with you. I had a client who came to me one day in sort of midway through our sessions, and she was really upset and frustrated, and she was complaining about how her family members didn't get on, how her family members didn't get on, and how, you know, the one person that she didn't get on with in her family, they seemed to be pushing her to get on with. And she was like, I don't understand why they just don't realise that, you know, we can all have individual relationships and all be happy, but I'm just not going to be getting on with that person. because of what's happened previously. And she was expecting me to be like, yeah, I totally get it. That's really annoying. Like, how dare they demand that you get on with somebody who you've had this history with? And instead I was like, but isn't this what you're doing? Because there are people in your family who don't get on, and you seem hell-bent on having these family gatherings and getting them all together and trying to get them to all get on, and you get annoyed when they don't get on. And she was like really taken aback. I'll be honest. She was like, and then she went, oh, yeah. She said, I should really take my own advice, shouldn't I? And I was like, well, it's up to you, but I would suggest that your life might be a little bit easier and a little bit happier if you made peace with the fact that not all members of your family are going to get on, and you can have individual relationships with them. And that was a moment for her, and she wouldn't have realised that without a coach. Because if she'd have gone to a friend or a relative or her boyfriend or whatever it might have been, they probably would have sympathised. They wouldn't have said, hey, you're being really hypocritical there. Like, that's not what you need to be thinking. But that, as a coach, was my job. I wasn't there to sympathise with her. I wasn't there to take her side all the time. I was there to challenge her and make her a better person, and develop her and help her grow her own strength and her own sense of self, and understand who she was at her core, so that she could decide for herself what she wanted to do and who she wanted to be. And so, yeah, I mean, that brings me to another point, that why do I need a coach if I've got friends, or I've got a really supportive partner, or, I've got a really great boss? Well, actually, if you have a really great boss, your boss could be coaching you anyway. So I would say if you have a really great boss who's challenging you and pushing you and believes in you, then they're already coaching you. You've already got a coach. Okay, I never ever thought of myself as a manager when I worked in the corporate world. I looked after a team, and I always said I coached a team, because I never felt like I managed that team. And when I left, everyone was so complimentary and so nice. You're such an amazing manager. You're such an amazing manager. And I was like, I've never felt like a manager to you guys. I've never dictated. I've only ever coached you to try to help you to achieve your potential. And you have. And you've seen in yourself how well you've developed. And so, it might be that you already have that coach personality in your life. So that's another thing to think of as well. What I would say is, if you think like there's a family member challenging you, or your partner challenging you, be wary of that, because there will always be a separate relationship going on there. So your partner, you have sex with, probably, right? So you don't really, they're not going to really challenge you. They're not going to really piss you off, because, they're not going to get any. So I would be aware of that as well. Same with friends. No one wants to fall out with friends, so they might challenge you, and depending on your friendship level, there are friends that I can challenge quite a lot, and know that it will not change our dynamic, but I never try and coach them, because that's a very different thing, and I would need their permission, and sometimes they do give me their permission, and I really let rip. But for a lot of friendships, that puts too much of a strain on it, that challenge and that objectivity. You need somebody, if you're not moving at the speed you want to move, if, it's that amazing quote, which I love, if you keep doing the same thing and expecting different results, it's a definition of insanity. So if you're doing the same thing in your life, and you're, not necessarily even doing the same thing, but if you keep reading books, and you're reading self-development books, and you're getting through, a book a week on self-development, and you've read The Power of Now, and you've read Gabrielle Bernstein, and you've read all the other amazing books that have gone from my head right now, that are incredible books and learning books, but you've got to a point where you're moving forward, but it's just not how you want to move. Well, your process is to read self-development books and then try and implement them. and you're not getting any different results from that. So stop expecting different results. Maybe you've moved forward to a point and now you're doing incremental changes, like slow changes. And if at that point you feel like you've got all you can from these books, but you keep reading them, that's crazy. Okay? If you're at that point and you want more and you want your life to grow exponentially, you want your well-being and your happiness to grow exponentially, that's when you start looking at a coach. But you have to be ready to commit. You know, my clients, I've had clients in my work as a counsellor where I didn't pick my clients. They came to me. And I've had clients that have come to 1 session, 3 sessions, 4 sessions, and I've known right from the get-go that they weren't committed, that they weren't ready, that they weren't in the right space. And normally I say that to them when I start to feel it. And people don't like that either. Nobody likes to be told, I don't feel like you're really committed to changing. But if I feel it, I say it because it's there and it needs to be brought into their awareness. And maybe then you have a conversation and they actually go, yeah, you know, I don't think I am. And they go on their way and you go on yours and you stop wasting each other's time. But when I get a client that comes through the door, that shows up and is committed to change, I see their lives transform before my eyes. And I'm getting so emotional now because I'm thinking of one particular client who just moved me in such an incredible way. He came to a space with me and joined with me and showed up every week, mind, body, soul. He was going through NA meetings as well. He was coming off drugs, he was changing his life, and he was so committed. And in the 3 months that we worked together, his life turned around. He went from not really working to getting jobs left, right and centre, to getting great feedback, to feeling amazing, from hanging out in his flat 24 hours at a time and ordering takeaway. He went back to going to the gym and working out and seeing friends and socializing, and he'd come back every week and say, I saw this friend and they just couldn't believe the difference in me and I'm so happy. And that is what coaching can do. That is what I can do with the right client, with a committed client. But you have to be in the right space for it. So I would say if you're thinking about coaching, definitely work with the coach first, to see, you know, you can stalk people on social media and that's great. And I'm on social media and I'm doing these videos for you so you get a taste of who I am and what I'm about. But the reason that I've just started offering my 30-minute Get Unstuck mini session is so that you can actually have a proper taste of being coached by me. I was doing consultations for my big 8-week immersion program, Your Selfish Identity, and I hated doing them because somebody sat for 20 minutes and told me all their life problems, and then for 10 minutes I tried to sell them on my program. And they went away and didn't know me and didn't know the value of being coached by me. They just heard what I was telling them. So now I do these 30-minute sessions where you come with a problem and we fix that problem. In that 30 minutes, we do deep coaching. We dive deep, we get serious, we get real. I challenge you. And at the end of that 30 minutes, you know what it's like to work with me and you've experienced change as a result of working with me. And that gives you a much better place to come from to decide whether coaching is for you and whether working with me is for you. And then if and when we have a conversation about doing something more, we're both committed to the progress and we're both committed to what could happen, and you've seen the results of that. And because I wanted to make it really affordable, it's £36 for that half hour. And I think really if you're interested in coaching, £36 is something you can afford for half an hour for a change. So yeah, you can find that on my website, emmabrook.net/work-with-me. and you can book yourself straight into my calendar. It's like really, really easy. But yeah, that's the reason, because I don't want anybody to sign up to work with me without having experienced me helping change their life. I want to make changes in people's life. I want people to feel that shift of stepping into their own value, of stepping into their own worth, of stepping into their own feelings. And I want that for as many people as possible, but those people have to meet me where I am as well. I meet you where you are, you meet me where we are. Like, we have to get into the same space to do the work. And some people aren't in that space and they're on their own journey, and that's totally cool. So that's why I wanted to do this video and share it with you and just give you some insight into, if you are thinking of getting a coach, how to go about that. Just get some experience of working with that person. Don't do a consult. They don't really work. Work with that person. Do something and get some experience. And if you get a shift and it's something that's useful for you, then you know if you want to work with them or not. Okay, so that's it from me. Once again, if you want to try out that 30-minute taster mini session with me for real coaching in a short period of time, go to emmabrooke.net/work-with-me. And if you scroll down, you'll see the Get Unstuck mini session, which you can click on there. So I look forward to hearing from you if you're in that space and you feel that I can help you. And any comments, just leave them below. I do answer all the comments as well. Take care for now. Bye.